I've been in real estate investing, for a little more than 6 years now. Largely doing a lot of wholesaling. I've also done some rental properties. I've got a portfolio of rental properties. The reason why, the program with Ion really was attractive to me when I joined almost a year ago. It's crazy. The year's flown by, but I really am a big believer in multiple streams of income. That in my opinion is the way to build true wealth and independence. And my mindset was, if I'm talking every single day with investors trying to network to find deals, sell them my deals I've got under contract, all these investors always have a need for funding, obviously, as they grow their business. And so, my thought and my strategy, which as you mentioned has worked, very well so far, is if I'm talking to them about a deal of mine as a wholesaler, then why not try to expand upon that and fund those deals? I've done deals in which I've sold a wholesale property that I've got under contract to someone, so I've made my wholesale fee, but I've also brokered a loan to have these investors who buy the property from me, fund their deal through the Ion program. And so I get not only the wholesale fee, but I also get the commission off of the loan, and rinse and repeat. That's what I'm trying to do right now. And it's been going very well. And the other thing I like about it is that it helps brand me as more of a holistic resource. That's the other thing, not just multiple streams of income, but it's very competitive out there, which any wholesalers watching will relate to, experienced or new. You've got to differentiate yourself. And what I'm trying to do is build a business in which I could, help investors find a deal through wholesaling, sell the deal that they might have if they're flipping themselves as a marketer. I've got 20 years of marketing experience. That's my day job. As you mentioned, I do this part-time, real estate in loan brokering. And also just being a networker. I'm very generous with my network, because in my mind, if I could help investors meet other investors in my network, they're going to do more deals, and hopefully therefore there's going to be more deals for me to be part of. And and that's really what I'm trying to accomplish. It's been fun. It's obviously been a lot of work, but it's been very profitable. In the same conversation, make multiple ways of profiting off of a transaction. But not only that, having an exit strategy where there's different options. Sometimes I don't have the wholesale deal. It's not my deal per se, but just in talking with people, it's just another excuse. Or if I'm not going to sell them my deal, I could still fund them. And Ryan and I have talked about this. When I market my wholesale deals, I oftentimes have many, many interested investors wanting to buy this, but only one could buy it. But that's my natural pipeline of, hey, if I have 12 or 13 interested buyers, the one that buys it is the home run. And then the other 11, I still have an excuse to talk to them and build that relationship. That's what Ion's provided for me.
Absolutely. I remember that conversation, Dave, when we were talking about scaling your business, right? Earning more, right? But you were just limited on time. You had your hands in several different things. It was literally from the crack of dawn, right? All the way until you crash and you hit the pillow, right? And so how can you possibly further monetize that workflow? And it was really, it was interesting how it all came together, in that you really didn't need to spend more time acquiring more properties. You didn't need to spend more time finding qualified buyers. You were already talking to plenty of interested buyers, right? You didn't even need to find a property that offered that higher ROI. In the end, what it really came down to was just being part of the other side of the deal, right? A transaction that was already occurring. Right, a wholesaler comes in, you find that qualified buyer, and that's really the whole of it, right? That's where the transaction happens. But the second you get off the phone with that buyer, they hop on the phone with their broker. And then they're borrowing money. They're not putting all their cash down, right? They're borrowing money for the purchase, for the rehab. And that broker is getting a commission. Well, by the wholesaler segregating that portion of the deal, they're not earning. Also, you're kind of stuck in that one revenue stream, right? So what if we could open up the floodgates here and we could monetize that winning bidder in multiple ways, right? And that alone was able to increase your profits, but it went even further. And to your point just a moment ago, what about all those losing bidders, right? What about all of those investor conversations that you're already having? You don't have the time to do more, but we can further monetize your existing workflow. And so all of a sudden, we are able to provide funding options to these other customers and clients of yours that may not have won the bid on your wholesale property. And yet you're making money just by talking to these people. You're keeping these people warm for that next deal you have, because they're already looking to you as a funding source. And as a result, you're making more money. You're not doing any more work. IN handles the broker side, right? Christopher has been instrumental in taking care of that side of the business for you. And as a result, it's earnings, it's scaling without doing more. And it's pretty wild, I think, how it all came together, and what you're doing currently, what you're going to continue to do throughout the year. But I think every single wholesaler's got to be doing this. I mean, literally every single wholesaler's got to be doing this. Why limit yourself? Why limit yourself, right? And anyway, we're excited how well it's been working out for you, Dave. We are, and we're anxious to share with the community. So yeah, further monetize your existing workflow is the bottom line here. And yeah, it's worked pretty well, hasn't it?
Yeah, wholesaling is hard. I mean, all business is hard, obviously, or else everyone would be doing it. But wholesaling is hard. You know, right now it's a tough market to find true wholesale deals because the market's so hot right now. But it hasn't stopped my business because now I've got that backup revenue stream of my funding business.
Yeah, I believe in building symbiotic relationships. And when Dave and I first got introduced to each other, he laid out what his vision was, and I, was like, okay, well, this is a track we can go on. I always believe in providing value to our list, to my existing clientele base. But anybody that's been in business for a while realizes that the real money's in cultivating your existing pipeline, not necessarily always chasing new business. So we found this to be a great plug between him wholesaling deals, because like you said, I'm talking to 10, 12 prospective buyers for this wholesale property. And now having that ability to say, well, look, I can help you provide that financing piece. So it now elevates Dave as a resource to say, hey, we're not just brokers, we construct deals. And so just kind of changing the mind frame, I understand what it takes to make the lender network work, and providing that assistance has allowed Dave to do what Dave does best. Dave is finding deals, he's getting them up in contract, he's networking with investors. And then when we're bringing these people in, I'm coming up and finding the right solutions that's going to make that buyer's life that much easier, and get them at terms that are going to be very competitive within the marketplace. There's pros and cons of all kinds of money, but we all know that if we work with a lender type structure, overall your cost should be lower because your cost is a little bit more fixed, more defined. But most people don't understand what it takes to qualify in that arena. And I bridge that gap. And we're basically, once we've identified a live buyer, I'm doing the steps necessary to collect them to get them through the lending process. And, at the end of the day, deals close, we have happy customers and we have repeat customers, because if they've had success with you once, they're going to come back for you a second, a third, a fourth time. And literally, it's just a matter of taking care of your people the way you want to be taken care of.
Absolutely. Well said, Christopher. And
Yeah,
I'm sorry, please, Dave, go ahead.
I mean, reiterating what Gavin said, I mean, Chris, I would have not done any deals if it wasn't for you. And that, is a huge part of what ION brings. I've vetted other lending broker programs. ION wasn't my first, but the service that we provide my clients, because Chris's expertise in lending, I don't have that. We, I think, complement each other very, very well in that regard. I learn things every day from Chris, but his work ethic is unparalleled. And That's huge. I mean, it's a very competitive business, as you guys know. But the service is what I lead with. I say you get not only me, but you get a top-notch, expert in lending in Chris. That goes a huge way. I sell that every single call. So Chris, thank you for all you've done.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But we
work
work well. I mean,
well.
we've been on some great calls together. I mean, and we can get in with the most seasoned guy. I mean, and Dave and I have had some great high level conversations with some really significant players, and they understand that we know what we're doing, and it cuts out the fluff, and once you build that level of confidence, it's just easier to get down to what really makes a deal work. We understand that everybody's experts and what they're doing. We're surrounding ourselves with a team of experts, and then we're executing a plan and being accountable for each other. It's like anybody knows they can pick up the phone, they can call me. I'm gonna respond to a text. If there's a problem, I'm gonna come. I don't leave with a problem. I'm like, this is what happened, but here's my solution already. I'm already 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. So if they're not ready, I'm honest with them and saying, well, look, this deal's not working, and this is the reason why. Why don't we change our focus? I can get you money, but why don't we put the money somewhere where this will really be of value to you, and not put you in a situation where you're going to potentially be upside down or be in a negative situation. So we literally manage the experience and look at it and have an extra set of eyes to make sure that it's a win-win for everybody that's involved in the transaction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Christopher. And so as you can all see, watching from home, these two guys are close, right? That relationship is working well for both of them, right? We have the wholesaler bringing in that qualified deal flow, those buyers, those investors, right, who need cash. And the broker's right there to support the wholesaler in those transactions to get that investor across the finish line, to bring in that extra cash, right? And so if you stop and you think about it, and this is, Ion Capital Solutions is many things. We're a professional loan brokerage. We have our wholesaler program we're talking to you about now, right? Our profit booster system, but we're also a broker training program. And one of the things we teach our brokers is to not just get stuck deal chasing. You cannot just every day just try and attack new business and think that that's a good business model, right? That you're going to make plenty of money and find consistency there. You're not. And if you listen to some of the key things that Christopher's saying here, he's talking about repeat business, right? He's talking about ringing out that lead list for every drop it's worth, right? In this case, guys, it's your investor network, your sphere of influence. How are you monetizing all of those conversations, right? It's about past business, past dealings, business today, today's dealings, and then the future, right? It's about renewals, referrals, and the money that follows through all of these conversations, not just your wholesale deal. There's lots of ways to bring in money through a line of credit, which is renewable, right? And it'll keep paying you, right? It replenishes itself. There's the purchase, there's the rehab. You need transactional funding, we have you covered, and you can receive a kickback for that transactional funding. You could offer credit repairs to your clients. There's all kinds of ways for you to make money. And if you manage that investor network well, you have plenty of qualified buyers all of the time for your wholesale properties. You have money coming from all different areas. You have renewals, repeat business, you have referrals. Suddenly it changes the game, and you're just doing what you're already doing. You're just doing what you're already doing. You're just further monetizing that workflow, and you can leverage the power of Ion. And that's exactly what Dave has done. He's leveraged Christopher and his knowledge and expertise. And Christopher wears his broker cap, right? While Dave wears his wholesaler cap. It's a great relationship. It works, And so it's pretty wild how well these guys have done together, how well they continue to do, the money that we can bring to the table as a result. And as I said before, really, Gavin, right? I mean, every wholesaler's got to be doing this at this point. It's just more money in a lot of different ways doing what you're already doing, you know, and Dave already told you, you know, he's doing it himself and it's working well for him. And he's able to leverage Christopher. Christopher handles that boatload of work, right? The wholesalers just got to bring real buyers to the table. And that's what you're doing every day in your wholesale business. So just
Exactly.
makes sense, guys. Just makes sense.